Game development is easy, said no one ever. As my next games, a small indie game studio that literally consists of me and 3 of my friends, we have already created several games over the years. You're probably curious if any of them have been successful. Well, you may be surprised, but no, we started with Soulblight, which, well, it was ambitious, we can't deny it, but unfortunately on many levels our highest level ideas and skills were brought to the ground. Because of this we also suffered a lot of losses and had to switch to a slightly more reasonable mode of work. You probably know how it is when you work on something for a very long time, put all your heart into it and devote a big chunk of your life to it, and in the end it turns out that all the work was pointless. Seemingly, you can say that you have gained valuable experience, but these are just words and deep down you feel that you have failed. Fortunately, we did not give up. We could say that since we didn't succeed, it means that this is not the playground for us, that we're not good enough. Well, call us naive, but at that point we continued to believe that our time would yet come. We decided to start small and make it big. The next free production on our account was Tales from the Arcade Starship Murder, which was a kind of roguelite and it was quite liked by the players. Some time ago we also made a video about the gaming superhero series we are currently working on, which is our biggest project so far. You can take a look at it later. In a nutshell, Hank, an alcoholic with the ability to travel through time, fights villains including his nemesis, the illusionist Unraveler. The first bite-sized game is a visual novel where we use the mechanics of reversing time and learning the outcomes of the player's various decisions. For the second game, not yet released, we use very similar mechanics, although here we have varied it with magic mirrors, which take us to the another timeline, thus gaining extra time to prevent the bomb from exploding, but we have to watch out for Hank's other outputs as they can lead to the space-time paradoxes. In the description you will find a link to the wishlist. But the most important topic of this video is a completely different game we had the pleasure of creating this year. We wanted to break away a bit from Hank's dark vibe and try our hand at something more fun and perhaps a bit goofy, and that's how Tales from the Arcade Fartmania came to be. The plan was great at first, but very quickly there was such a small tiny problem. We had absolutely no experience with platformer games. We had to retest new mechanics and solutions, we often got lost, and that's why it took us a little over a year to produce the whole thing. Yeah. We know it's a bit long for a simple platformer, however we wanted everything to be in it as we had planned. We decided that our project needs that extra time. In the end we are satisfied with the results. While playing Fartmania you take on the role of Pinky, a little piglet with a farting problem. The whole village makes fun of him, but soon the inhabitants are kidnapped by aliens and the only person who can save them is Pinky. The player must watch out for spikes, rescue the pigs, collect beans and finally defeat the aliens with his unusual powers. We published the first version of the game for free on Newgrounds, GameJolt and other such sites. We wanted to see what players felt about it and whether our game is simply fun to play. The results exceeded our wildest expectations as Fartmania was played more than tens of thousands of times. The feedback was also very favorable, so we refined the game, fixed bugs, and then it was time for the real launch. We chose Steam and Nintendo Switch as the target media because we like Nintendo Switch and we always wanted Fartmania to be available on Nintendo Switch. It was a bit of fun to do this because Nintendo's policies are terribly convoluted, but in the end everything worked out and Fartmania is now available in almost all regions of the world on Switch. For the launch on Steam we even held a contest in which the person with the highest demo high score had the opportunity to become an in-game character. The fight was fierce, but in the end the player with the nickname Weak Venture won, and this is how his character, which you can meet in the game, looks. A few months after its release, Fartmania sold in 75 copies on Steam, after 900 wishlists, and 165 copies on Nintendo Switch overall. Whether that's a lot or a few, that's a question you can answer for yourselves. We are quite satisfied with this result and would definitely commit in this madness once again if given a chance. As I said, Tales from the Arcade Fartmania is now available on both Steam and Nintendo Switch. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, you'll find a link to the game in the description and pinned comment, show it to your friends and compete with them for highest high score, and remember, never give up. See ya!